What's up, fellow troublemakers? Welcome back to Jaja Draws. Now, if you look at this and think, did I start at the beginning of this video? Yes. Yes, you did. This video, however, does not start at the beginning of this drawing, and there's a little bit of a story there. So, the deal is, I originally had something else planned for a video for this week, and then that got derailed for reasons. Mainly reasons that my daughter said, hey, don't take that toy that was mine and remake it. And I was like, well, okay, that's fair. I won't do that. And then later she changed her mind and said I could remake it, so that might still be coming, but like not this week. Then I had another plan for this video, and my problem was I just couldn't get into it. So I was sketching something. I was sketching a dancing witch woman. Because like that's what I wanted to sketch, and I decided that, hey, instead of trying to force myself to work through something that I didn't want to work on, I would just start recording and show you the rest of the process for this sketch that I was really enjoying. So yeah, that's how we got where we are right now. I have drawn a dancing witch woman before for Inktober, and incidentally, I know it's not October yet. I know it is not technically spooky month yet. I don't care. I am ready to draw witches. Also, as you will see later, this witch is dancing next to a bonfire. And today, when I'm recording this voiceover, is actually the day that I am holding my annual, well, semi-annual, because some years it gets skipped because there's a global pandemic and people can't be together. But my semi-annual backyard fire party where I light a fire in my fire pit and friends come over and we all roast sausages and also s'mores and hang out and have a good time. So yeah, I was just in a witchy, fiery mood and I decided to do a drawing about it. When I started sketching her, I did go through several iterations of the pose. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted her to do. I ended up really liking this pose. I felt like it's one of the more dynamic pieces that I've ever done. It's not directly straight on or directly in profile. It is at an angle, and like as someone who has done some dancing, I think I did an okay job with both the balance of the physical form, like how you would be in that pose, and also the sight lines. So I don't know, I was really enjoying how this turned out. It took me quite a long time to do the layout of the body. As you may have noticed, I tend to draw people naked first and then put the clothes on top, because some people can just draw clothes. That is not me. I have to know what the body is doing underneath, otherwise I get the clothes wrong. But yeah, so this was my witch, and I was really happy with how the sketch was turning out. I do occasionally draw witches who are not in sort of more traditional witchy garb and don't wear conical hats and don't have long flowing hair, but like, you know, sometimes you just want to draw the quintessential witch, and that's what I was in the mood for today. So, okay, evil trifecta action item number 1. In the comments below, tell me what kind of witches you like best. Do you like goth witches, like teenage goth witches from Craft? Do you like scary hags? Do you like, you know, young, vaguely period witches that don't actually fall into any recognizable historical period because we've cartoonized them all? Like, you tell me what kind of witches you like. That's your evil trifecta action item number 1. So, I have to confess, I did a super YouTube groupie kind of thing. I was watching one of Jazz's videos that was about which liner pens he liked the best, and he ended up ranking the Tombow, he calls them the wrong thing in the video, but he corrects himself down in the comments, the Tombow Fudenosuke, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce that, Fudenosuke brush pens, which are not really brush pens. They're like a pen nib. I mean, I guess they're a tiny little brush. You can't see this, but I've got the pen open in front of me and I'm staring at it. Anyway, hard and soft. He really liked both of them. And they're not a really long brush like you get from some of the other fine liner brush pens. They're just like this short, stubby little brush. And so he recommended them, and like a total groupie, I was like, well, maybe I should give those a try. So I bought them. And you guys, I love them. They're amazing. The line width variation is beautiful. The ease of use is beautiful. The way you can just sort of flick out a line is gorgeous. Like, they're so nice. Anyway, then it was time to color. Purple is my favorite color, and I legitimately did not see any reason why, if I was doing this drawing for myself, I could not make this witch my favorite color. So I did. Now, the one thing that I was hyper aware of was the fact that I'd given her a bonfire in the background, and if there's a bonfire in the background, then she is backlit. And I'd never done rim lighting like on anything before. And so I looked up some reference images just to see sort of how it looked. And then I did my best. I'm not going to claim that my best was great, but I will say that by the end of this, I was fairly pleased with myself. I felt like I had successfully been adventurous with the depth of shadow that I achieved without making anything super muddy, and also without taking away any of the highlights that I had worked to put in there. So all in all, I've got to say I feel like this shows progress. And since I did really love how the sketch turned out, it was both a relief and a delight to me to have the coloring then also show progress, because it just felt like a drawing that I could really be proud of. So yeah, I guess here's your second action item for the evil trifecta. Give a thumbs up if you also think it shows progress. Oh God, I'm so aware of how I'm opening myself up for no one thinking it shows progress. But that's okay. We have to be brave. If we're not brave, then we'll be too scared to do better. I don't know. I've lost myself in terror now. I think this is probably one of the first times that I used the same marker to help create tones. I tend to blend between two different colors completely. And I did do that. I mean, I'm using, I think it's P5 is this darkest purple that I'm then blending out with P4. But I also just used P4 and also P3 layered on top of each other. These are the Ohuhu alcohol brush markers, by the way, if you're looking for the color matchups. I did actually use those colors layered on top of each other to achieve some depth to and contrast within a solid colored piece, and that worked well. I would like to do that more. I would like to challenge myself to do that more. I did use black in order to get some deeper tones on the P5, because like P5 is so dark as it is, and I think in retrospect I wish that I had started just trying to layer the P5 itself, but I'm not sure. It is so dark. It's very difficult to imagine that I would have gotten much contrast if I just put down another layer of that. But the world will never know because I didn't try it. I've also taken a silly amount of satisfaction in how the bonfire itself turned out. I lined the wood for the bonfire with my fine liner, but I did not line the flames because flames don't have a dark edge, and I was, trying to be mindful of my lighting in this. And so instead I went through with 3 different, like a yellow, an orange, and a redder orange, and created the flames just with color and not at all with lining. And I really liked the way that turned out. I thought it was pretty. I wish that I had blended out I think that's Y4, I think it's quince. And then the orange red, just like YR4. I wish I blended them with the Y3, which is the basic yellow color, before it had started to dry, because I wish I had a little bit more bleed there. But like, that is a minor crankiness, but in general I really do like the way the fire turned out, and I'm super pleased with it, and that makes me happy. I saved this skin for last because I was the most nervous about it. I didn't know what colors to pick because she's in the dark and we all look darker at night, but I wanted it to be clear that it was the dark of the lighting, not that she herself had a darker skin tone. I did consider giving her a darker skin tone, but then I thought it would, I wanted more contrast between the lighting and the shaded parts. So, yeah. Basically, I started with a base color over everything that I thought would be, her palest in the light skin. And then I built up darker colors. And at first, when I first put down, I think this is a hazelnut in my Studio 71 skin tone set. When I first put it down, I was like, oh, what have I done? I've destroyed it. But actually, once I got the rest of those shadows in there, I thought it wasn't terrible. I thought I'd done an okay job turning it into a rear lit, picture. Face, human form. I don't know, y'all. It's early in the morning. I thought I did okay, is what I'm saying. And then when all was said and done, I gave her gray hair because a young face with gray hair is just, it's my aesthetic right there. I love it so much. So I grayed her hair up, and I used like 3 or 4 tones of cool gray in here to give it some contrast and dimension. What else? I don't know. Do some arty things. Yeah, and I liked how that turned out too. Last but not least, I decided since this was a night scene, it needed a dark background, and I went with black. I did leave everything with a white highlight, which in retrospect, I wish I had done yellow. The reason I left it with a highlight is that I thought that would give the impression of light glowing around the character, and but it makes it look more like a sticker when it's white. And if it had been yellow, I think it would have been clearer that the intent was that, there was light coming from behind the character. Also, I'm sure I should have faded it out instead of just having it be a harsh line. So here she is. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Like it if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more content of me babbling about my work. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye!